Our next storyteller is Laura Cherotich, a fifth-year medical student from Moi University in Kenya, and her story is titled Becoming a Doctor.
It appears I'm so tall. It's okay now. As I've been introduced, my name is Laura Cherotich, born in Bomet County, Kenya. I come from a family, I have 7 siblings, so we are 8 in total. So one time my friend asked me, Laura, how many children are you in your family? And I told her, we are 8. And she was like, one mother? I was like, what's wrong with having one mother having 8 children? Okay. Okay. Another funny thing about coming from a large family is that every time I try to cook little food, I put so much salt. And one friend once told me, like, you're actually cooking salt with little vegetables. Sorry about that. So I started schooling in the year 2006 in a local primary school. So for my primary school, it was like 10 minutes walk from home. So we could go to school in the morning. By 8 a.m. you're in school, and then we could come back for lunch at home, and then go back for the afternoon classes, and then come back again in the evening. So that's what I did up to class 7. So like we have up to class 8 to finish your primary level. So in class 7, like you have to pay a certain amount of money so that you get lunch from school, so that you don't keep going on for lunch and coming back. So in terms of my performance while in primary school, I can say I was really the bright student. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gassing you up. So each time in my school, like you're not given a report card. So each time we are having end-term exams, then we have a list of students. So like they rank the results and they will line you up. So each time the teacher will be like, who do you think is going to be the best student in class 3? And they will say, Laura. So they already knew that I was the best student in that school. So then I did my final exam like to like finish my primary level in the year 2014. And I emerged the best student in that school, in that primary school, attaining 372 marks out of 500. So to me, that was a great achievement. But here comes the issue. From that time, I got a letter to join a national school in Kericho, that is Kipsigis Girls High School, for those who have been to Kericho. But the issue was 2 of my brothers who had gone ahead of me had attained such marks, great marks, but they didn't get to their dream schools because my dad couldn't afford. So the alternative was to go to a day school to have their secondary level studies. So I was like, if my brothers who have scored high marks have gone to a day school, do I really think that I'm going to attain my space in that national school? But my dad came up with this idea, and he was like, there are 3 scholarships being applied right now. There's one for Equity Bank, there's one for Family Bank, and there's one for KCB. And this is what he decided. And he told me, Laura, we are going to apply for the 3 of them, and you're going to attend all the interviews. The good thing was their interview dates were different. So I attended all the 3 interviews on different dates, but it was unfortunate that I actually didn't get any of the scholarship. So we had to go for the second option, and this was my mom's idea, and she was like, how about we hold a fundraiser? Maybe you can get money to get you to that dream school. So we held a fundraiser, but again, the money we were able to raise was only able to get for my shopping, to join that high school, just a fraction of that like school fees. So we had to go to the third alternative. So my mom decided so she was like, I'm going to that national school pre-admission date. So tomorrow is admission, so I'm going today. I will find a chance to talk to the principal, and I will tell her that my daughter wants to come to this school. We haven't been able to raise the amount required for the first term. So remember that while you're getting admitted to a national school, for example, or any other school, you have to ensure that you have full amount of school fees for at least the initial term. And this time around, like, I had only raised just few amount, not even a quarter. So she went pre-admission date, was able to talk to the principal. She's still called Mrs. Juliana Kirui, but she has gone to another school, sorry. Yeah, so it was fortunate that she actually accepted me to join the school. So my mom took me to the school like the following day. I got admitted, and then one thing I found out was like, while other students were departing with their parents, they were crying. But for me, I wasn't crying because this is my first time in boarding school, and I was so excited. I've never been to a boarding school before. I was like, what do you mean you guys are crying? Yeah. So my first experience in high school was the first exam that we did. I emerged like position 11 out of 256. I wasn't used to that because in my local primary, I was always the first student. So when we went for holidays after that first term, then I decided to get out of the house. I used to study. I was like, I want to emerge the best student out of 256. And what happened is, when we came back to school for our second term and we took our exams, I actually emerged number 1 out of 256 students. So my performance actually impressed the principal, and this actually earned me some favors, actually great favors. The first one being, every time students who had fee arrears could be sent home for school fees, the principal could tell me, Laura, I actually don't want you to go home and interrupt your studies because I've seen you're really a bright student and your performance is impressive. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to call your parents and tell them, at least try to raise some amount. She actually knew that they wouldn't raise much. At least try to raise some amount to keep you in school and to avoid having like huge arrears. So each time, like, my fee arrears actually piled up, but then I wasn't going home, so I was happy either way. Yeah, so, and I kept really working hard up to my 4th form. I remember by the time I reached my 4th form, which is like final level in high school, I had arrears of about 130,000. And I was like, even if I'm getting out of this school, but then again, how will I come back to get my results slip without clearing the fee? But so many things worked in my way. And I remember one of my teacher of English one time paid part of my school fees. And she called me to our office, gave me a bank receipt showing that she had paid part of my school fees. And another time, one of the parents of my classmates, I've never seen her, but I came to know that she paid about 40,000 of my school fees. She's called Alice Abala. I've never seen her. And by the time I was finishing Form 4, I had only like arrears of 30,000. So I finished my Form 4, emerged the best student in that school again after the final exams. And this gave me a chance to join School of Medicine, Moi University. And while in Moi University School of Medicine, it hasn't been like a smooth journey, but all I can say is that it has really shaped me to who I am today. I managed to get into Mwangaza work study program, and initially I actually managed to get a university scholarship from a company called James Finlay's. And all I can say is that someone said that if I've seen further, it's by standing on the shoulders of the giants. And all I can say for me is that personally, every milestone I get to move, I stood on the shoulders of the giants. And since my story is titled Becoming a Doctor, all I can say is I'm not yet one, but I'm becoming one. Thank you.